welcome to episode 10 of the Fitness Network Podcast. Today, myself and Matt are joined by Jase. So, Jase, give us a little intro on yourself.
So I'm Jase, a UK and Dubai-based online coach, also compete every so often. And that's pretty much it. So I'll help get a lot of people in shape and put them on stage, as well as putting myself on stage at the same time. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, insane track record as well.
All right.
Okay, so let's start with, how did you first get into bodybuilding and kind of why?
I just came from a sporting background, always played sports, and it was like, let's get to the gym to improve sports performance sort of thing. Started in the gym and it was sort of like, this is quite enjoyable and quite progressive. So it pretty much started from there. And it just, gradually became the norm, got to train 3 days a week, then 4 days a week, and 3 weeks later, 5 days a week. And then it pretty much, as it becomes a habit very quickly when you see yourself adapt, pretty much just fell into that bracket. So pretty much trained probably for about 3 to 4 years. And I was just like typically training then as normal, like not bodybuilding training, just typical t-shirt training, let's say. And then I knew I was developing quite quickly because everyone in my friendship circle was like, whoa, you're progressing quite quick. But I was very lucky in the sense of when I walked into a gym, I was pretty much told, this is what you do, Monday to Friday, this is pretty much what you eat. So I was quite nurtured from quite an early age. So I didn't have that year of making mistakes. So I pretty much just hit the ground running, which led to a lot of great progress. And then a lot of my friends competed. So like I was watching loads of natural shows and loads of shows beforehand, but it was never like, I want to do a show. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then one day, my mate put up a transformation and I was like, he looks pretty good. And I was like, I reckon I can do that. And then that's pretty much how it started. And I literally signed up to a prep. I was like, I'm going to do a show.
Wow. So had you met Rob by that point?
No, that was it. I messaged Rob on Insta, who prepped my mate Marlon. And I was like, who did this? And he was like, Rob. I literally text Rob and I was like, mate, I want to do a transformation like this guy. And he was like, it was like the 23rd of December. And he was like, if you can get to he knew where I lived. I said, I'm from here. So on. And luckily it was like 40 minutes from me. So he was like, if you can get to the gym in 2 hours, I'll take you on as a client. And I was like, I think I said to him, I was like, oh, maybe do it after Christmas. He replied, Rob's very like Marmite. He was like, your goals don't mean enough or something like that. And I was like, so I turned up and then it pretty much just hit the ground running from there. I was quite lucky, met Rob. And then, one day Rob was like, do you want to train? And then we started training and then pretty much became friends and then had a good run of training there. So then I progressed, I went from learning a lot of basics to learning a lot of advanced training. So that's why my journey was quite nice. I had them 2 good stints and then we pretty much prepped for a show. I was a junior at the time and Rob was like, you're going to do the men's. I was like, it's my first show. And I was just like, you know what? Like even now with Jamie, I'm just like, you tell me what to do. If I do want to do it, I don't question it. I just get it done. So did the men's, came third, which was great. First show, everyone was like, whoa, you're doing the men's, came third. Then won the juniors the next week. And then had a bit of time, like off season as usual. And then it just pretty much became 2 shows every year.
Yeah.
2-3 shows every year. So obviously this year, got 10 days out, Corona called it off. So I wasn't going to prep again this year, but I'm a creature of habit. And I was like, I've done it every year, so I need to sort of do a prep. So hopefully Spain is on because I've seen there's a little spike in Corona over there now. So
Alicante then, eh?
Yeah. No one knows. Yeah, Alicante. But we're in a very good place. Like we're in a very good spot. Not a lot to lose.
Yeah, it's always worth having a go. And I know, obviously that coveted pro card is the goal.
Yeah, that is always the goal. Especially when there's like in Alicante, you get to the overall and you've got a chance, of only not place first in 2 shows. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to win the show. And then that's pretty much it, because I say you prep for anything other than first, you're going to finish last. So I think it can be done.
Yeah, it's good.
So Jase, who or what inspired you in the early days, and has this changed from then to now?
My inspiration?
Yeah, your inspiration.
So I actually looked at no bodybuilder and was like, I want to look like them. I had no aspiration in that sense. There was not one bodybuilder I'd look at and I'd be like, I really want to look like them. There wasn't one. and it's a bit mad in that sense. It was like, you know, I just want to see what I can do. So like when people are like, yeah, Phil Heath, and you know, I never ever had a bodybuilder as my screensaver. It didn't bat an eyelid to me. Like it was of no interest to me. It's just like, all right, let's see what we can do. And it was like, oh, you're quite genetically good at it. Because I always put it down to genetically, I'm quite lucky with a lot of things. And it was like, you're quite good at that. And then so it flourished from there. But there was no one really. I was like, you know, I've never really been like, I really want to look like that guy, or you know, had someone as my screensaver. It was just like, let's see what we can do. But as it's evolved, I sort of look towards the bodybuilders that have made a business out of bodybuilding in that sense, you know, and more than just the physical aspect from it. It's like people like, for example, Jay Cutler. You know, he runs a multi-million-pound supplement company. You know, he holds loads of seminars per year. So I sort of look at it. You know, it's a bit weird. So when I look at a bodybuilder that I inspire, I'm like, what have they done apart from just getting in shape? You know, because to me, it's quite cool when you can see the balance, you know, someone that can get in shape and build a business, or get in shape and give back rather than just solely get in shape. So that's probably where my inspiration's coming from now. And for the fact that when I look at the circuit now, I'm like, you know, this person's a good coach, this person's a good coach. I'm like, how many can balance the two of being a good coach and a good bodybuilder? You know, and it's not, essentially for me, it's not, if I was to turn pro, it's a bonus to coaching's a bonus to that. You know, but even if I wasn't, the reason I bodybuild is because I want to be able to be like, you know what, if you train out, this is what you can achieve. And also just, you know, so my clients know, you know, I'm doing the do day in and day out sort of thing. So that's sort of where the inspiration shifted to now.
I think that's a much healthier approach though, because I do think that people are setting themselves up for disappointment if they say, I want to look like this, because your genetics are totally different to that person. Your muscle shape is different, you know, like
even now, I've got one friend, I can get his Instagram up him. I go on my DMs and he just sends me bodybuilders all day. Oh, this person looks good, this person and that. I don't reply. I've got no interest. I don't care like what a lot of other people look like. And it sounds a bit crazy. So I can appreciate a nice physique, but you know, I never look at someone and be like, you know, I want a chest like that or legs like that. I'm like, oh, it looks good. And I just carry on. It's a bit weird. Like, I've not got a photo of one bodybuilder in my camera roll now. Like it doesn't appeal to me.
Apart from you.
Apart from loads of me.
Okay, so what would you say you think is the most important thing to do well in this sport? Do you think it's down to genetics, or do you think it is more about work ethic and persistence?
I think it's just being coachable, you know. And when I say that, I'm not talking, you know, being able to adhere to a diet. I mean being coachable from all aspects with various coaches. You know, being an open book to being able to adapt your methods, and being willing to always learn, you know. So I don't think it in a sense of, you know, being the hardest trainer or being, you know, having the greatest. I think it's just being 100% coachable and adhering, you know. So being 100% coachable and adhering to the right coaches. You know, we both had multiple coaches, and you know, we both adapted to them very well because we're coachable. So I think it's just being coachable in the environment you're in, and you know, being realistic with yourself. You know, so I don't always say genetics, because if you got great genetics but you are uncoachable and you don't adhere, it's not really going to benefit. So I always say just being coachable to whatever coach is with at hand, and being coachable to more than one coach, because there might be a coach that, you know, is great for you for your first 3 years. You know, then that next level, you might need a coach for them next set year. So it's being coachable across a variety of coaches, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because I see a lot of guys go from coach to coach, you know, and I sort of look at people and like, if they've had 4 coaches in 1 year, I look and I say, you know, if someone inquires me and they say, I've had 4 coaches, I tend to say, you know, maybe you're just not coachable, you know, or, you know, you need to redefine your goals, because the methods are, like I said to someone today, I said, I don't think I'm the coach for you, because you don't be coachable to me. So I think if you want to go far, you know, you see people at the Olympia, you know, some people use a CO, then they'll use someone else, but just because they're very coachable and each year they bring a different package, you know. So sometimes I'm like, you know, sometimes I'm like, it's not the coaches, maybe it's you.
Yeah. Well, look at Big Ramy. He's always they've posted him for greatness, and he's never achieved it. And how many times has he swapped coach?
There's got to be something going on behind closed doors, because, you know, everyone's tipping for greatness and everyone else is progressing forward, and he's the same. So there's something going on there, and it takes a lot to be able to point the finger and say, do you know what, maybe it's me, or maybe I'm not doing this to my full potential.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
definitely.
So, being a competitor and a full-time coach, can you take us through a typical day?
So a typical day, I'll take you through a crazy Saturday. So I'm going to get my laptop charger in a moment. So this Saturday, I woke up at 5, got up, walked the dogs 5 till 5:30. Then I get straight on check-ins probably from about 5 till 9. So I get the bulk of early check-ins sort of like take priority. If you're willing to get up early and check in, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Then about 8, I went this week. I went and trained cardio, but I do tend to, I'll peek on my phone and keeping in the loop, then I'll get back. And if I'm doing cardio and prep's amazing because I can just sit there and whack out some work, which is great, this is one of the reasons I love prep, because I do believe I'm more productive in that sense. Because, when you're on the treadmill for 40 minutes, there's nothing you can do apart from look at your phone. So instead of looking at Instagram, I'll look at check-ins. And then literally I'll get back. So this weekend I got back. Obviously it was crazy Saturday because everyone's like, I'm back in the gym, gym plan, da, da, da. So in that sense, got through half my check-ins and I was like, it's my turn to train. Didn't take my phone. Then it was my turn to train and pretty much just got back to check-in. So it's pretty much, it's an office job. When people say, I want to be an online coach, I say, you need to be willing to do a 24-hour office job where you don't switch off when it hits 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes.
So today I went and met a client at the gym and we spoke for longer than anticipated. We just woke, we drove half an hour. We spoke longer than anticipated. Someone messaged me and I totally blew my mind. They said, is my plan coming out tonight? And I was at the gym and I was meant to do cardio and I was like, I need to go and do this plan because I've said I'm going to do the plan and then go and do cardio tonight. So in that sense, it's an office job that requires a lot of deadlines that you kind of, regardless of prep or not, you need to put before yourself. And I feel that's the mark I'm trying to get. There's a lot of online coaches that when they do prep, I've had many people come and be like, my coach is unresponsive now, or I'm on the back end. So I'm trying to walk that path of trying to, it's not going to be perfect, but create a nice balance between the two. Yeah. So Saturday, I don't really have a day off in that sense, so I have crazy days and I have quiet days, but there's not a day off day, if that makes sense, because, ultimately you're reliable. And, this Saturday I was a firefighter. I was just problem solving all day. I was firefighting all day. That's literally what I was doing. Like, that's what I say. Saturday, my busy days, I'll just spend the day firefighting all day, and looking for in the day. And, it happens, but, when you need to do that, if you then want to compete abroad and stuff, because it's not a cheap hobby, so, yeah, in that sense, it's tough, but, on prep, I have a set time where I do my check-in, do my cardio. It's just, you just have to run a more meticulous structure within yourself, and so now I'm like, maybe I won't train on Saturdays. Maybe I'll swap my Saturdays just got to be a bit more smart with it so I'm not flagging out, especially the back end of prep. So yeah, Saturdays just stay spent problem solving.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go into coaching, they don't realise that it is a 24/7 job. I mean, some people will text 10 p.m. on a Saturday night about something.
Yeah. I get questions at 2 a.m. I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, I've just finished the night shift or something. Because, when you take someone, you're willing to cater to their lifestyle. So, you have to be on deck and, there's not a day off. I have quiet days, but there's not a day where I can be like, oh, I'm going to turn my phone off for the whole day.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yes, so it's crazy in that sense. It's a crazy balance, but like with anything, it's doable if you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's making people around you aware, like your partners as well, that, it kind of, it doesn't stop. That is what the job is. And it's not that you don't want to spend time with them, but that is your job.
It doesn't switch off. So like this week I was like, all right, 5 o'clock we'll go for food. But till then I'm working. I said, I won't take my personal phone, but I will take the work phone for food. And, I have to look at it every now and then. And it just is what it is, when ultimately you're with someone that supports that and understands, because anyone at the end of the day, someone should understand that if they support your goals and ambitions, because, online coaching, when you do very well, the salary is not a basic job, so you're not going to work basic hours. if you want to do really well in life, there's no such thing as a 9 to 5. So if your partner can see your vision and respect it, there's no issue, but I've been with people that haven't, and I've been with people that have. So, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I'm very, I'm very honest. If you don't like it, I will drop you in a heartbeat. And I'm very honest no matter how long I've been with you, because at the end of the day, I put my goals first in that aspect. My brand's my business, and it may sound very selfish. Nothing is bigger than that. Nothing, because and it's a horrible thing to say, but I'm very honest.
but that's just being true to yourself, and the right partner gets that, because they will be the same about what they love or what they do, or so.
And, when you do an endeavor like bodybuilding, it's a passion that you can't explain. It's not like, oh, I like football, because I used to like football. It's a different sort of like, which you don't sort of understand till you're in the bodybuilding community, because it takes over. It's 24/7. You go out, even when you have your cheat meal, you're still a bit conscious. All right, I still have a Diet Coke rather than a full fat Coke. So it actually takes over 24/7, which is a bit crazy. Just going to grab my charger.
Oh dear. I think we all know what this is like. Oh dear. He's gone to check his phone now because all his clients have texted him. So actually that runs us in to what is something that you love about your job, and what is something that you hate about your job? Maybe that's a harsh word, but
what I love is just the fact that I can, it may sound very weird. I don't know how to, I still don't, to this day, I don't know how to answer this question. So when an average person on the road comes up to me, like today, a builder came up to me and he said, "What do you do for a living?" I don't know how to answer. If I said to you, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer that question?
Well, mine's tricky because I'm an ecologist, but can't you say I change people's lives?
Can I say that? How would that look to you? So I still, to this day, because they're like, I don't say PT because I don't want to brand myself. So it's a hard question to this day, So what I do like about my job is the fact I can change people's lives. I think that's probably the biggest benefit for me. I can change people's lives, which is quite great, because I've had a lot of huge transformations in terms of fat loss, and it may sound weird to me, that is more I get a sense of achievement more than seeing someone win a trophy, if that makes sense, because maybe this person is carrying 40-50 pounds for 5 or 6 years and now they're not. And majority of the time they might put someone, but they're never back in that start point, because then they're helped mentally, physically, confident. So it's probably the thing I enjoy most is the fact I can change people's lives, which is pretty cool. I like to think. And what do I hate about the job? Let me think very carefully. So my main dislike about the job, there's more likes than dislikes, but there is going to be something. That is a good one. My dislike is if someone says, "What's my macros?" If someone says to me, "Can I do if it fits your macros?" my standard reply is, "Do you mean if it fits your mouth?" Because I absolutely hate them. But I do. If I send out a plan and I've spent time writing it and someone replies, "Bro, can we do if it fits your macros?" I reply, "You mean if it fits your mouth?" Because, you want to make, foods that are, you want to make foods that you're trying to stay away from fit into your plan. And I had that convo today, and, I know macros do serve a purpose here and then to someone who is disciplined. But I think, when someone comes to me and they've never dieted before and they ask that question, I say, just focus on the basics. Don't, when I first started dieting, I never knew what a macro was, so it's just that we have a load of access from TV and everyone knows what a macro is now. So that's probably my pet hate, is getting asked, can I do if it fits my macros? Or if I send out a plan out and they say, "What's my macros?" I'm like, just follow it. Well, I to this day, I don't know how much food I eat, or, I pay for a plan, I follow the plan, but that's just my personal preference.
Yeah, I'm like that, although it does, I can see it on my plan, but I kind of don't really want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know it.
Eat the food.
Yeah, I don't really want to know it. So yeah, no, that's probably my pet hate, and I get it. I don't get it that often because I make it known, the way my approach is stick to the plan, some flexible foods, 3 or 4 interchangeable foods, and we can rock and roll. But no, I got someone today, haven't dropped in 6 weeks, 150 plus kilos. And I said, you don't need your macros. You just need to stick to the plan,
Yeah.
and do the basics sort of thing. So that's probably my biggest pet hate. But I'm not against macros because they got a time and a place if you're disciplined.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You've kind of like answered the next question, which was going to be, do you coach anybody? So lifestyle bodybuilders, bikini girls, etc. Let's go for a bit. What do you prefer?
So it's crazy in the sense of I love helping bodybuilders. Be totally honest, just because they're more, if they're enhanced, you can experiment a bit more and you can see things change at a faster rate, which is great to see, as a bodybuilder yourself, and seeing what, if I put A in, it might reflect B, or if I put, and seeing that sort of change is quite cool, especially when you're very detailed to eye. But, I'm getting a lot of passion right now for, like, I'm putting out a lot of photo shoot preps and a lot of lifestyle preps, because I want to be established as a top coach with thousands of results. And, I said this the other day, there's more average athletes than there is elite athletes. So if I can help more average, ultimately my brand's going to establish at a faster rate than just helping elite athletes. And so, ultimately, I think I've steered more towards that because, one, there's been no comp, so I've had no elite athletes to help. And, it may sound weird, I just feel like the general pop are just a bit more grateful.
Yes.
In that sense, not in a horrible way. They're not wiser to know, who else is out there, or wow, this is actually, if you were bodybuilders, all right, if I diet for 16 weeks, I can achieve this. Where when you do your first diet, you're not really sure what the outcome is, and when you adhere, you're quite mind blown. So I think in that sense, I'm drawn towards the general pop at the moment, just because they're more grateful, and I feel they're more grateful for the results they achieve. Don't get me wrong, that change as the season goes on, because the first 2 shows I got 25 people competing. So that will change very quickly. So I think it's just because there's not been anyone been able to compete. But no, it's quite weird because I'm open to everyone. Last year I did say I'd stop coaching females. I did say that, like competitive females, because I didn't want to. I wanted to sort of have a niche, but not. I didn't want to think I could cater to all. So I had 5 females last year, and I said, you know what, these will be the last 5 I prep. They all won their shows. So I was like, we'll stick it out a bit longer. So, because when you diet a female, you have to be on the ball. Like, it's not everyone can do it. Luckily, I've learned a lot from people that coach a lot of females, 2 incredible female coaches. So I've learned a lot, so I know what to expect, especially when you play with fats and manipulate hormone levels. That's a massive thing I think a lot of people overlook. So, when I help new online coaches, I'm like, please don't take on females if you do not understand what you're doing. So in that sense, I was confident I could do it, but I was, even now, like, I've put many, I've got a female British champion, but in the back of my mind, I'm still wary because the female body is very different to a body which I have. And because I have a male's body, I sort of know the function of the male's body. So it wasn't a sense, it was like, maybe I'll just do males. And then had a few females do well and loads of female transformations. And I was like, we'll keep doing this, but, I won't push out and take on a mass amount of females, because the ones I I need to be acute and put all time in with them. So I think this year competing, I've got, like, in the first 2 shows, I think I've got 25 people competing, and only 4 or 5 of them are females, which is what I like. And it's not it's just, I just think if I wanted to do more females, I'd take on less and give them a more attention to detail, because I've seen many females say, I've lost this for X, Y, Z, or I felt like this, and I just don't want to ever put a female in that position due to not showing enough attention. I feel mandatory women should have minimum 3 check-ins a week, because the female body changes so quickly.
It does. And then and the paranoid mental games that we get as well.
My females check in minimum 3 times a week. It's like Friday, Monday, Thursday, and they're like, why? And I'm just like, I just need to gauge how you feel and stuff like that. How do you feel after you've had a cheat meal? Most of the females, they don't feel great. The amount of my females now are 6 weeks out, and I'm like, you're on a scale band. You're not allowed to weigh yourself.
Yeah.
They weigh themselves every day, and it happens. I do it. It just happens. So I think when you coach females, you need to be able to client manage a bit better. And I've seen loads of people in the industry coach females, but they haven't client managed to the best of their ability. And I have close friends, that I take from, and they've coached females, and post show they haven't checked up on the females. And I've had females personally message me, and I think when you coach females, it may not in the aftercare is much more important than the prep.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if a male finishes a prep and puts on 10 kilos, everyone says, bro, you're bulking, you look great. If a female puts on 10 kilos, everyone says, oh, you put on a bit of weight. So
Yeah.
I think in the term of client management, females are a specialist client.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Politically correct.
I'd agree being female.
No, so that's the reason why I take on less females. But no, every female so far has pretty much done well, and I'm sure the 3 I've got now should be okay. But no, so it's pretty much general pop. It will go probably general population, males, females.
Okay. And if somebody do you have any spaces for coaching?
Yeah, I do, because I get rid of a lot of deadweight. Like I said today, I would easily tell someone that I don't think you're coachable, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to stick to it, I've got friends in the industry that will take your money and say it's all right, mate, and take it every month for 10 months. But I'd rather get a good result that I can put on my site or something like that. So I always kind of make space, or like every Friday I go through, right, you've missed 2 check-ins in a row, you're probably not serious, probably stop sending you check-in sheets. All right, I've got a space.
Yeah.
So in that sense, when I get close to prep, I do limit my spaces. But at the minute, I'm in a point where I work full time, so it's up to me how long I work.
Yeah.
As long as no one's saying, "Oh, Jase's service is shit," like yesterday, everyone who checked in Saturday got their reply Saturday, so it's still manageable. And I do offer a 48 turnaround on weekends, so till I start dipping in that 48 hour zone, I'll sort of say, all right, I can't take on more, or in that sense. But no, I kind of don't have a cap, because if I take someone on, I'll look, who's not pulling their weight, and I'll just say, I'd rather you spend your money elsewhere. Because I've got people that will just say, oh, it's all right, mate, get back on plan, get back. I'll just say, I don't think you're coachable, or my common line, I don't think I'm the coach for you. And it's sort of respected, because in a sense, I'd have a few people come back months later and they say, do you know what, Jason, I really respected that. Now I'm it'll be like, now I'm in the right mind frame, or now I'm ready to do it. So I get a lot of people returning in that sense.
Yeah, I agree. So if someone wants to get in touch with you about being about coaching, how would they go about that?
Instagram DM is probably the most where most of my inquiries come from. Just come on it all the time, or coachingwithjase.com via the site, because there's videos and transformations and stuff like that. So that's like all the international inquiries will come through the site, which is crazy. I had someone from Zambia this week. So
awesome.
I don't know what time zone they're on. So it's like South Africa now, Zambia, Dubai, Ireland. So it's quite expansive, which is quite cool. Because I'm like, why me? Why me?
Yeah.
So,
sorry, we're running out of time now. Okay. I just want to ask you one before we get to a quick fire round. So, do you have any advice for those who are looking to undertake their first show?
Yes, I gave this advice out today, and I'm going to give it out again. So when I did my first show, everyone in the gym will tell you need to carve up, or if you're a male and you're on cycle, what you need to take. Or my one advice is to anyone looking to compete for the first time is listen to who you employ. Just listen to who you employ, because you've employed them for a reason. It's very easy to get 6 weeks out of your head to listen to the person to the left and the right to you. Only listen to who you employ. Every prep I've done things I've not agreed with, I've done things I have agreed with, but you know what? I've employed this person, I'll review it at the end. So my main advice is listen to the person you employ. And I think you can't go wrong. If you've done your research and you employed the right person, you can't really go wrong. The amount of times I've got backstage, my mate's been like, yeah, have a Mars bar, or have this, or no, listen to the person you employ, or
yeah, absolutely, because I think everyone has got their own 50 cents to put in, and unless they are your coach, it's irrelevant, really.
Yeah, like if I see someone coached by another coach, I'd never. Like majority of the time, I wouldn't give my opinion anyway because I don't care about them. But no, I like if I see someone coached by another coach and they message me like, "What do you think?" I reply, "Ask your coach. I don't want to cross opinions." Because,
Yeah.
everyone's different.
Yeah.
Or keep it generic. Like, look good, mate. Keep going.
Yeah, of course. Positivity as well. Cool. Quick fire round.
Fire rounds. Okay, let's go in. Favorite guilty pleasure food?
Biscoff. All of the Biscoff.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen the cookies and stuff that you eat.
I've got loads of Biscoff truffles in my fridge from yesterday, and I'm just like, oh, they're probably going to go off by next week. I might put them in the freezer or something. Guilty pleasure. I can't, if I open a tub, I have to eat the whole tub, so I don't buy it anymore.
Yeah, you're like me. Open a packet, it's all got to go.
Okay, favourite place you've been in the world?
Dubai.
Suspected you might say that.
Dubai or Vegas. Dubai or Vegas.
Awesome.
Okay, next one would be, what's your favourite stage pose?
Has to be front double bicep or a side chest. I've got quite a nice flow to mine, so it's something I can throw it up in the off season, and I don't carry a lot of fat in the front pose. So it's the only shot everyone really sees of me.
Signature, I like it. Well, let's widen this question out. It is, do you have a greatest of all time bodybuilder? But maybe we should widen that out to athlete as well, just in case.
We'll just go with Flex Lewis, just because he's done it 7 years in a row. Great pioneer to the sport. So we'll go with Flex Lewis.
And do you think he will be Mr. Olympia?
Yes, because I do think it's not a size game, and I think if you're breaking down each body part, he's perfectly put together.
Yeah. He is such a great ambassador as well, and another good businessman.
Yeah.
He's a great ambassador. He speaks well, because I ultimately see the winner of the Olympia should be the best ticket seller. And I think, if you look at that top six, Flex Lewis would be the best ticket seller for the sport to take it to that next level, which makes me think, there's a reason why Middle East guys like Haley don't win it, because, they're not going to sell tickets. Yeah. It's a multi-million pound sport. When there's multi-billion pound sports, there's politics. So I think Flex will win for his physique and also being a great ambassador.
Yeah. Not that I'm biased being Welsh as well, but yeah, he's definitely the best. No, I'm joking. Okay, that's awesome. So if people want to get in contact with you for coaching, it's Jase345 on Instagram, isn't it?
Jase_345 or coachingwithjase.com, I believe. I always get it wrong. Somewhere there you'll find me, and hopefully I can help.
Awesome. Well, thank you very, very much for coming on. And we will let you get back to all your clients that I'm sure you've been inundating.
No worries. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jase.
See you soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.